Again to Oregon Thunderbolts football. Sorry about the tardy start to this week's game between the Oregon Thunderbolts and the I shouldn't say Vancouver, it's the Columbia Cougars. And what you've missed so far was quick strike, lightning, thunderbolt type offense, pardon the pun, as the opening kickoff was taken by the Thunderbolts. They started from their own 35-yard lines. They gained 6 yards on a pass from Sparks to Nightingale, and then on the very next play, Calvin Simpkins, and Dave, you personally have seen this before, quick strike offense, Simpkins going 59 yards for the touchdown, and it's 6-0. And now it is the Cougars with the ball, and I'm going to send the play-by-play back over to you, Dave Hall.
All right, thanks, Drew. Cougars with the ball, and they have been moving backwards. A couple of penalties right off the bat. 10:50 left to go here, first quarter. 6-0, Thunderbolts lead. Second down, 2nd and 12, and a pitch to the tailback out to the 25-yard line, and tackle there. And on the carry, number 37, Michael Himes.
And finally, Dave, we get a play where there's not a penalty flag. Before we just got on, it seemed like every play had a flag on it, including the first play that they had from scrimmage from their own 12, when they ended up picking up the flag and waving it, but at least it was thrown. And I think that's our first penalty flag-free play.
Drew, the Cougars like to make a lot of personnel changes out on offense during the course of the game, and they've done that right off the bat.
Yeah, last week Frank Ulrich was their starting quarterback, and they came out this week with Naaman Archer, one of the many former Thunderbolts in this league. And Archer is still the quarterback. Ulrich was out there as the kickoff returner after the Thunderbolts kicked off when they scored after their touchdown.
3rd and about 7. Receivers split wide left and right, I formation. Cougars. The handoff to the tailback. That's Himes straight ahead. Out to the 30, out to the 33. Victor Weeks. All right, Victor Weeks. 34, not 37. That's going to bring up 4th down. It's going to be short of the first down. Actually, let's back up. It is going to be a first down.
It will be a first down. I didn't have a chance to do the Thunderbolts game last week, but I was able to make it to the Jets-Cougars game. And yes, the Cougars make a lot of substitutions on offense. And they just rotate a lot of people around. However, Ulrich was the quarterback all the way last week, except for one play where they ran a Cordell Stewart-type play for Naaman Archer. They fooled the Jets, scored a touchdown off of it, but it wasn't nearly enough as they lost 44-28.
Archer the quarterback, I formation, receivers split wide left and right. It is 1st and 10 from the 33. Archer wants to throw quick across the middle, complete to Marvin Bronson. Bronson out to the 40 and ahead to the 44-yard line, and Bronson will have a first down.
And if it wasn't for Calvin Armstead and Jeff Jones, that would have went for a lot more yardage than it did. One other thing I noticed is that the Cougars don't have a lot of confidence in their running game. They like to pass the ball a lot. That game last week took over 3.5 hours to play with all the incomplete passes and penalties. And I guess they just don't have enough confidence in their running game.
11 yards on that completion from Archer to Bronson, a first down for the Cougars, 1st and 10 at the 44. I've seen Marvin Bronson play quite a few times at Evergreen High School, and he's an outstanding player. I formation, receivers wide left and right. 4-man front, a mix-up. Archer brings the ball down, steps forward, out to midfield and across midfield. So the Cougars get a break on a busted play and an 8-yard pickup.
Hey, and I was wrong. Before we went on camera, I was saying that Nathan Berge wasn't going to be back until next week. Well, he was the one that came up with the tackle on that play, so it's good to see old Nathan Berge back for the Thunderbolts.
Good job that time by Archer turning a busted play into 8 yards, because whoever was the fullback on that play stepped right into Archer.
Yeah, I believe that was Victor Weeks he ran into. Definitely a broken play.
2nd down and 2 in Thunderbolt territory at the 48-yard line. I formation. Archer the quarterback wants motion. There's the handoff to the tailback straight ahead and hit. And a no gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 and a good stop by the Thunderbolts.
It was Rashad Grant on the carry. Another thing I failed to mention here, after the Thunderbolts scored their touchdown, the extra point kick was blocked. So if I said the score was 7-0, I was in error. It's 6-0 Thunderbolts.
And that was Savarich on the extra point attempt, and it was blocked. In fact, it never got much off the ground.
Didn't get very far, that's for sure.
A warm day here at Hare Field, and the temperature probably pretty hot down there on the playing surface.
It's got to be at least 100 out on the field. It feels like it's 90 up here.
It is 90 up here, or more. Archer, the quarterback, same formation. Has a man in the slot on the right this time. Archer straight back under pressure, wants to throw to the outside and tipped, incomplete, intended out there for Dion Rhodes. Rhodes off his fingertip and incomplete.
And Jake Hendricks, poor Jake Hendricks, that ball looked like it was ticketed for him, and if Rhodes didn't touch it, that would have been an easy interception and an easy 6 points.
6:26 left to go here in the first quarter. We got a timeout on the field. Fourth down for the Cougars, and we got a flag on the play. It appears that they had the first down on the carry, but there's a flag on the play. Michael Himes on the carry for the Cougars.
Yet another penalty, Dave, and let's see what this is all about.
Well, they have the first down, so the TBolts are going to take the penalty.
Whatever it is. We still haven't seen a signal yet, if there even is one, if there is a penalty. Let's find out. It's procedure, so. Okay. For one of the first times this season, we actually can hear what the referee is saying, the white hat, because he's actually yelling it out as he's calling the penalty. I guess we need to get him a microphone, and they won't have to yell so loud.
And the call that time, he said the offense wasn't set, so that was the call. And that backs the Cougars up 5. And they are in punt formation. Thomas Martin, the punter. Deep to receive, Andre Harris. The kick, a low driving kick, going to bounce at the 35 and out of bounds at the 28. So the T-Bolts will start on offense on their own 28, leading this game 6-0.
Boy, that was a long time for them to hold the ball that time, but not much time went off the clock thanks to a couple of incomplete passes and quite a few penalties.
Harris was deep. Van Velarde was up that time, but the kick really never cleared the line of scrimmage until it hit, and then it bounced towards the sideline and out of bounds. And so the actual punt won a total of 14 yards that time. Boy, we've seen some bad punting lately.
Yeah, and the Cougar special teams, although they have speed to burn, they're not all that great. I mean, you can't expect a 60-yard booming punt or anything like that from Thomas Martin.
Sparks wants to throw. He's hit. The ball underthrown, and is that a catch by? No, it is not a catch. Harris tried to lean over the out-of-bounds line and catch the ball, but not successful.
That was almost a great catch. Boy, that was very, very close to being a catch there. Andre almost did a great job of dragging 1 foot in, which is what you need in this league, is you need 1 foot in bounds without that other foot out of bounds to get a catch. And he almost did it. Of course, that's way over there at the far sideline, so we can't tell, but that looked very, very close.
Right, Sparks the quarterback, Bell the up back, Simpkin the deep back. Let me give you the stats right now on Calvin Simpkin. 1 carry, 59 yards. Receiver split wide left and right. Morgan Will, the tight end, goes strong side left this time. Second down, the handoff to Simpkin. There's a hole. Simpkin out to the 35, out to the 38, out to the 39-yard line. Close to the first down marker.
And again, we see the thing we've seen all year long. Thunderbolts have success running the ball in between the tackles. Simpkins had a lot of room to run, a lot of room.
8 yards on the carry, so it will be 3rd down and 2. Simpkins now with 67 yards on 2 carries. Receiver split wide left and right. To the left, that's Anthony Jordan. To the right, that's Andre Harris. Split back formation this time. Sparks. The handoff straight ahead to Bell. Bell fights forward and I believe has the first down. He was hit behind the first down line but surged forward and out to the 40 and has the first down.
Nice gutty run by the half case, Glenn Bell, to get just enough yardage for the first down even with 1 to spare. So it looks like they got out to the 40, so now they're 60 yards away. Maybe it's time for another long run by Calvin Simpkins.
A good job that time by Bell, if you notice, keeping his head up and watching what was going on in front of him. It allowed him to pick his hole there and get the first down. 1st and 10 Thunderbolts at the 45. Nightingale splits wide to the left this time. Harris split wide to the right. And now Simpkin will move up in the slot. Sparks wants to throw, looks for Simpkin. He's hit, and he's going to be sacked all the way back to the 33-yard line.
And I think that was Michael Himes, number 42. Yes, it was Michael Himes doing the Ironman football thing here, going both ways, and he just came around on the blind side of Sparks and somehow got around the blocker and made the sack.
A loss back to the 35, and it will be now 2nd down and 15.
And Dave, what we've noticed so far this game is that Sparks hasn't had as much time to throw as we're used to seeing him have.
They definitely had a play on that time, and it looked like it was going to be an underneath pass to Simpkins, but good defensive job by the Cougars. I formation. Sparks. Pitch to the tailback. That's Simpkins. He looks for a hole, steps inside, and no gain. And that time the Cougars came up and plugged the hole.
And it was Thomas Martin that came up and tripped him up, literally tripped him up, and no gain on the play. So now I have noticed that this Cougar team has a lot of speed to burn. They're just not very big and not very powerful, which is why you would probably want to run in between the tackles on them.
3rd down and 15 from the 35. 3:43 left to go here in the first quarter. Thunderbolts lead 6-0 on a 59-yard run by Calvin Simpkins.
And after a slow start, now the time seems to be running really, really quick.
I formation. Will steps up strong side right this time. Harris is split wide to the right. Jordan in the slot left. Sparks wants to throw, drops straight back under pressure, steps up forward, going to throw and incomplete to Jordan down around the 47-yard line. It would not have been enough for a first down.
No, getting ahead of myself here. Good coverage by Thomas Martin. Again, they have a lot of speed out there, and they have some coverage ability, but, just not enough there. And again, Michael Himes is getting around Matt Matthews. Matt Matthews, wearing number 61 in blue, is 6'8", 360 pounds. And Himes is somehow getting around him and putting pressure on Sparks on the backside.
Mark Savarich into punt. Deep to receive, Marvin Bronson. And we have a whistle and a flag. And I believe I heard him say unsportsmanlike conduct.
I think actually what it is they just had 12 guys in the huddle. That's a rule change that they made in high school football a couple of years ago, where you don't wait until the play starts and then throw the 15-yard illegal participation. If you can see that there are 12 players in the huddle, you just kill it right now, throw the flag, and flag them for illegal procedure, illegal substitution, whatever you want to call it. But either way, it's a 5-yard penalty.
And that's exactly what happened. So now it's 4th down and 20. Savarich standing back at the 14-yard line. Bronson standing back at his 18. Savarich wants to get the kick away. A nice high kick, spiraling kick. Bronson, it hits him. It hit Bronson, and it's free, and I think the Thunderbolts have it.
And I think you're right. And as soon as we unpile some bodies here, we can find out who came up with that. And, well, look at that. Jarvis Abston, one of the best athletes on this Thunderbolt team, got down there. I think that was a rather unwise choice of Bronson to try and field that ball. If you're not going to go up there and catch that thing on the fly, you best not let it hit you. And that's exactly what happened. It took the bounce, and before he could even move out of the way, it hit him, and they lose possession of the ball.
You know, that I was wondering, what's Bronson thinking? You know, he hasn't moved away. The ball is oblong, not round. And when it hits on that end, it bounced straight at him. Yep. Bronson dropped it. The Thunderbolts come up with it. It is 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Sparks at quarterback. And we've got it offside. And I believe 61 jump for the Thunderbolts.
Well, Himes came over across first. Now, it depends on what rules they seem to be playing by this year. If they decide to use the pro rule where the guy jumping in forces the guy to make a false start, they can call that on the defensive player. If, however, they're not playing that rule, then you're right. That'll be a false start on Matt Matthews, big number 61, wearing blue. Let's find out. They're discussing that right now. Oh, okay.
All right, the penalty is on the Thunderbolts. Actually, the penalty was on Andre Harris. The call was on number 9, so the flag was on the other side of the field, so that's the call they actually made. Sparks, a handoff, Bell straight ahead. Bell steps inside at the 20, at the 15, at the 10. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Glenn Bell.
And that's 32 yards, and again, Thunderbolts with a quick strike, lightning type offense, and another 6 points.
Bell again with his head straight up, saw the hole, stepped inside, did a little sidestep, and he was off.
Yeah, he did run. It looked like he ran into one of his own blockers, but once he got clear of that, there was nothing but real estate in front of him.
2:23 left to go here in the first quarter. Thunderbolts on top now, 12-0. Savaric with a point after touchdown.
I should tell you, Dave, this is week 3 in a murderous 4-week stretch for the Cougars. They started off 2 weeks ago playing the Bellingham Eagles. They beat them. Last week they lost to the Jets. Oh, boy. Well,
the ball was snapped before the holder was ready, and it went right by him. So another failed point after touchdown, and with 2:42 left to go here, or 2:23 left to go in the first quarter, it's Thunderbolts 12, Cougars nothing.
And
Thunderbolts set to kick off. Mark Savaric will do the kicking. 12-0 Thunderbolts. The kick's away. A long driving kick going to be fielded back at the 3, dropped, and going to be, well, no, going to come it out, bring it out to the 5, out to the 8, and an unwise decision as the Thunderbolts hammer number 88, Dion Rhodes.
No, Dave, he had to take that ball out because he muffed the ball while he was in the field of play, and it went back into the end zone. If he would have downed it in there, that would have been a safety. So he had to bring it out because he muffed it. But again, that just points up the Cougar special teams, which really aren't that good. Outside of their speed, it's just not. They're just not there. Now, getting back to what I was saying before the extra point, this is week 3 of their murderous 4-game stretch. After this game, next week they get to travel east of here, go to Jefferson High School and play the Multnomah County Buccaneers, the other team that's in contention for a playoff spot in this league. So after next week, everything goes downhill for the Cougars.
1st and 10, Cougars. Archer, the quarterback. Motion, handoff to the tailback. And out to the line of scrimmage, turns inside, out to the 10, out to the 14, and on the carry, number 34, Victor Weeks.
A nice gutty run and got knocked out of bounds. It looks like Alonzo Harden is going to play a little defense now instead of the offense. Apparently, these are the changes that Coach Brandon was talking about that they implemented last week up at Lake Washington when they beat Eastside 33-0.
Second down coming up. 2nd down and 5. 1:43 left to go here in the quarter as the Thunderbolts lead 12-0. Archer, the quarterback. Weeks, the up back. Himes, the deep back. Archer to Himes. Himes a hole. Himes out to the 20, and he'll have the first down.
And not what you expect to see against the Thunderbolt defense. They don't usually give up a lot of yards in between tackles defensively, probably because they're used to seeing their big offensive line pound on them during practice and everything, but that was a huge gain up the middle. So the Cougars are not going to go quietly, folks. They are a talented team. They do have chinks in the armor, but you have to exploit them, and so far, at least defensively, the Thunderbolts offense has done that.
1st and 10, the line of scrimmage will be the 22. We're just under a minute to play in the first quarter. Naaman Archer, the quarterback. Archer, hand off to the tailback straight ahead and out to the 26. On the carry that time, Rashad Grant.
I got to believe, Dave, that what the coaching staff of the Cougars is trying to do is trying to set up the pass with all these runs, because they didn't have much success running the ball last week against the Jets. So I just got to feel that they're just setting them up for something. They're setting them up for the play-action pass. They're setting them up for something, and we just don't know when that's going to happen.
2nd down. 2nd down, and we'll make it 7.
Hold on 1 second.
Cougars, they split wide left and right. They're in the slot left this time. And there's the horn. And in the first quarter, our score, Thunderbolts 12, Cougars nothing. Second quarter just underway. Cougars with the ball. 2nd down and 6. Naaman Archer, the quarterback. Archer drops straight back, wants to throw, holds the ball up, looks across the middle, has a man wide open on the outside at the 20, at the 15, and that's going to go all the way, and that is number 81, Antoine Williams, and that is going to be 74-yard touchdown pass from Archer to Williams, and there's a signal, it's good.
Well, Dave, I was unhappily prophetic on that play. I knew all those running plays had to be setting up something, and that's exactly what they did. The Thunderbolts defense bit on that play action, and Antoine Williams was, okay, all right, let us know when we come back.
It is. Cougars, for the extra point, it'll be Ben Grindle on the attempt, and a 74-yard touchdown pass from Naaman Archer to Antoine Williams gets this score 12-6.
And as I said, it was unhappily prophetic. Now we get a flag down, and that's one of those substitution things right there. But I knew those runs were setting up something, and you saw it right there. Antoine Williams is a great all-around athlete. I remember seeing the kid play basketball at Clackamas Community College. The guy can play just about any sport you throw him in, and he just outran a fooled TBolt defense. They were just totally suckered in the play. I mean, Williams almost could have crawled in the end zone. That's how far wide open he was.
Well, they didn't have to outrun anybody because he had 10 yards on any defender. Grindle for the point after touch on a high snap. It's down. Grindle a kick, and is it going to go through? It does. It just wobbles through, and our score, Thunderbolts 12, Cougars 7. Cougars set to kick off after the touchdown on the point after. They trail 12-7. A kick going to be fielded by Harris at the 7, lets it bounce out to the 10. Harris picks it up out to the 15 and hit and knocked backwards. A flag down. Harris is down around the 13, but a flag around the 15.
And you know what that's going to be. That's probably going to be some sort of an illegal block on the Thunderbolts, and so they're going to end up back deeper in their own territory. That ball just would not cooperate for Andre Harris. He just couldn't get a beat on it. It was almost like that old saying attributed to Bob Euchre about catching the knuckleball. The best way to catch the knuckleball is to wait till it stops rolling and pick it up. Well, that's almost what Andre Harris had to do, was wait until that darn thing stopped so he could pick it up and run with it. So now we've just got ominous and disgusting turn of developments here. The defense gets suckered into a long pass play. Plus, the Cougars convert their extra point, and that 1 point could, and let me emphasize, could end up being the 1 point that decides the game. Those extra points, they're not gimmies. You've got to get those, and the Cougars got theirs. That 1 point could be huge later on in the game.
Well, Harris looked pretty frenetic there trying to pick up that oblong football. 1st and 10. The ball spotted at the 8. Sparks, the quarterback. There's a handoff to Simpkins. Simpkins tries to turn the corner and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, if anything.
And this is after first 3 carries, 67 yards and a touchdown. The half case, Glenn Bell, two rushes for 35 yards and 1 touchdown.
So that's the first quarter stats for the T-Bolts. That's 5 carries, 102 yards, pretty good average.
But 1 for 3 in the passing game, and the 2 failed extra points, as I'll say it again, those can come back to bite you.
Now Simpkin got back to the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd and 10. Nightingale split wide to the left. Harris split wide to the right. Sparks, the pitch to Simpkins. Simpkins wants to turn the corner again and gets out to the 10. A gain of maybe 2. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
And that was good pursuit by the Cougar defense. Again, they have speed to burn. It's just they don't have a lot of size and power up front. So a lot of sweep plays and a lot of things around in probably aren't going to work. The stuff up the middle, going in between the tackles, will probably work best, especially in this heat, and especially since the Thunderbolts have a few more players and a little more deep, have more depth overall.
I said 2nd and 8. It's 3rd and 8. Simpkin gets 2 on that carry, so 2 carries on this drive for Calvin. Nets 2 yards with 13:05 left to go here in the first half. 12-7, and it's 3rd and 8. This time Jordan splits wide to the right, Nightingale wide to the left. They go to the split back formation. Sparks drops straight back under heavy pressure, throws to the outside. Nightingale underthrown. Incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down, and right now the Thunderbolt offense has stalled.
And Some of the Thunderbolts were asking for pass interference by James Carroll wearing number 15 in white and maroon, but that ball wasn't even close to being catchable because the Cougar pass rush got to Sparks and made him throw the ball earlier than he wanted to. And that's another thing, like I said, we haven't seen that a lot this year with the Thunderbolt offense.
Savaric is standing in the end zone. Bronson's standing out at about the 44-yard line. The Cougars are going to get pretty good field position, and we've got a timeout. No, we have a penalty. Is this another one of those 12 men on the field penalties, Drew?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yet another 12 men in the huddle type of thing. So now they'll kick from the 5, and they have a new snapper in there. I saw them just as they were on offense here. Number 98, Will Cole, is now going to do the snapping to Savaric. So apparently the snaps haven't been all that great on the kicking game, and that's why they haven't got either extra point yet.
So Savaric is standing right at the back line of the end zone. He has no room to work with. And Bronson still stands at about the 47 now. Low snap, Savaric, it's partially blocked and going to go out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. And partially blocked. And the Cougars are not only going to get the ball at great field position, they're going to be in the red zone at about the 12, 1st and 10.
Unbelievable. I would like to say that was poor blocking, but I think that would be generous. Savaric had like 4 or 5 guys on him. In fact, he was almost tackled for a straight safety before he could even kick the ball on that play.
Well, another thing, too, we don't want to be too critical of him because the snap never got to him.
Yeah. Apparently, and Savaric is around the 5-yard line, out of bounds on the Thunderbolt sideline. He definitely took a hard hit on that. It looks like he's holding his throat, but he definitely took a couple of hard hits on that one. Barely got it off, but now they only have 12 yards of real estate. The Thunderbolt defense does in back of them to keep the Cougars out of the end zone.
1st and 10 Cougars. First and 10 Cougars from the 12. They trail 12-7. A great opportunity here for the Cougars. Archer, the quarterback. Receivers are split wide left and right. Slot left. Archer, handoff to the tailback, straight ahead to the inside the 10 to the 9. And on the carry, number 34, Victor Weeks.
He had a lot of room to run, but somebody, I don't know who that was, maybe it was Greg Gadboys, came in and closed up that hole very, very quickly. He only got 2 yards on that play when it looked like he might go all the way.
2nd and 8 from the 10. Now the Cougars can make a first down without scoring. The first down marker down around the 2-yard line. 12-10 left to go here in the first half. 12-7 our score. Thunderbolts lead. Same formation. Deep back is Weeks. Archer wants to throw to the outside. Nobody there. And Bronson got held up at the line of scrimmage. And incomplete, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
And you can see him, you might have been able to see him working the official. He's grabbing onto his own jersey saying, "Hey, I was held." Van Velarde had a better chance to intercept that than Bronson had to receive it. But again, now Tim, your predecessor, and I saw this in week 1 where the Bengals either intercepted or returned a fumble down to the 2-yard line. The Thunderbolt defense held and then forced a missed field goal. And it would be nice to see the Thunderbolts defense do that again.
Bronson again split wide to the right, and he was held up at the line of scrimmage. Archer rolls left, wants to throw straight across, and incomplete. The ball was on the money to Deion Rhodes, but he just couldn't bring it down.
Boy, that's too bad. That was a very well executed play. Rhodes was open, but somehow he and Archer just couldn't make connections, and I think Archer's going to call a timeout here. Wait a minute. Maybe he's going to change his mind now.
The slant pattern incomplete, so it will bring up 4th down, and the ball is sitting at the 10. And I think they're going to have to take a timeout if they don't hurry up. And let's see what they want to do here. The kicker is in. That's Grindle. They're going to go for the field goal. The line of scrimmage will be the 18. This will be a 28-yard attempt for Grindle. Ben Grindle for the field goal attempt. The snap. It's down. Grindle with the kick. It's away, and it is good. Grindle with a 28-yard field goal makes our score 12-10. The Cougars scored at 14:44 with the touchdown, now scored at 11:44 left to go in the first half with a field goal, and have cut the lead to 12-10. Momentum has changed. The Cougars set to kick off. Back to receive, Bell, Glenn Bell, and Andre Harris. The kick, a low driving kick. Harris fields it at the 12, out to the 20, out to the 25, out to the 30, out to the 35, and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. 25 yards on the kick return for Andre Harris.
And a little extracurricular activity, but no fighting. Just get everybody out of there and let's move on. But good tackle by Philip Galden on that play. Now, Dave, they've done it. They've had mixed success, we'll say.
Cougars, the line of scrimmage will be the 37-yard line where they will start on offense. They lead 12-0. 2 touchdowns, 2 missed extra points for the TBolts. The Cougars, a touchdown, an extra point, and a field goal. Sparks wants to throws, and underneath Andre Harris. Harris defended well that time by Marvin Bronson.
Yeah, Sparks pretty much didn't have very much to throw, so he had to throw it at Harris's feet, because if Bronson turns around, that's an easy interception.
Second down, 2nd and 10 from the 37, the original line of scrimmage. 11:34 left to go here in the first half. Cougars wide left and right. I'm sorry, TBolts wide left and right. Handoff up back. That's Glenn Bell, and Bell maybe gets 1.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the counter trap, and not too many people trapped on that play. And a good tackle by Mike Belisle on the play. So that didn't work, even though they ran in between the tackles. Again, these Cougars have a lot of speed. So if you're trying to match up speed for speed with them, well, you're going to break even on that one. It's got to be the power, and it's got to be the size that makes a difference for you.
Drew, it clearly seems like momentum has changed in this game.
Definitely. And if the Thunderbolts can get a couple of first downs here and hang on to the ball, even if they don't score, then they take away most of that momentum from the Cougars.
Split back formation. Sparks wants to throw, drops straight back, looks under heavy pressure, is going to scramble to the left, and now throws and overthrows Rod Nightingale. And that'll bring up 4th down.
That was actually good coverage by James Carroll. Again, Sparks running for his life. He thought about running up the middle, but realized there was no way he was going to get anywhere close to the first down, and so he just backed out and threw it. But it's a chorus line possession. 1, 2, 3, kick.
3 and out for the T-Bolts. And we'll have a new kicker. Let's see who's going to be doing the kicking.
Brian Vandenacker, as Servarich was hurt on that last punt, and I don't even see him right now. Oh, he is up, but he was holding his head. He was pretty woozy. He took a couple of hard hits that last time.
Vandenacker to punt, Bronson back to receive, and the T-Bolt offense has stalled. There's the snap, a good snap. Vandenacker gets the kick away. Going to bounce at the 39, fielded by Bronson at the 33, out to the 40, out to the 45, across midfield, to the 45, to the 40, to the 30, to the 20. He may go to the 15, to the 10, steps inside to the 5. Bronson still on his feet, and touchdown, Marvin Bronson.
But hold on, we have a flag here. Now, I don't know if that's going to be on the Thunderbolts or not, because if it is, obviously, the Cougars will decline and take the touchdown, but we do have a flag that was thrown by the umpire. So we'll see what that is. Now, they are talking about this, so it may end up being a defensive penalty. We're not sure. We've got to find out what the signal is. Let's find out. And it is against the Cougars. Now, they have this rule in high school and college football where you cannot directly contact the snapper, the guy who hikes the ball, if you will. And it could be that's what they called, was that a guy went straight in to the snapper on the play. That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for doing that. So, again, Cougars very penalty plagued all year long, especially last week, and that one cost them dearly.
As Bronson goes 68 yards on the punt return, a great effort by Marvin Bronson will be nullified by the penalty. And the referees have not marked it off yet.
Give a personal foul. Here, that dog in the center cannot do that.
And that's exactly what the call is, as the referee shouted it out, a personal foul for diving into the center.
You cannot directly contact the snapper. You can try to go around him, and if he comes over to block you, then that's not a problem. But if you directly try to knock him over or go into him or anything like that, that is a penalty, because they don't want that guy thinking about something else and having a bunch of bad snaps and all kinds of other stuff happening in the offensive backfield.
Well, not only is it a penalty, it is a personal foul, which is an automatic first down and moves the ball up to the Cougar 46-yard line, 1st and 10, Thunderbolts. So the offense sputtered. The penalty will help. Let's see if the T-Bolts can make something out of it.
Yeah, and, that's a big momentum switch, too, because here the Cougars thought they had 6 points and the lead, and instead the T-Bolts have the ball, and they punched this in. Then the momentum has definitely changed to a guy in a blue jersey.
Well, the Bolts now have seen what a dangerous punt returner Marvin Bronson is. Sparks wants to throw, has a man in the middle, will, and knocked down. Good defensive job in there. And incomplete, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
There is a flag down, Dave, and that might be holding.
That was Ibrahim Lowe on the coverage that time. Got a hand up and knocked the ball down. Will was open in the middle, and Lowe got a hand up and knocked it down for the incompletion, but we do have a penalty.
But the linebacker did blitz on that and forced Sparks to throw a little bit early. And again, this is something we're used to seeing the Thunderbolt defense do to the opponent's offense, not the other way around. So again, more uncharted territory, just like that Bellingham Eagles game where the Thunderbolts lost the lead in the second quarter and never regained it. Not something you want to do right here is lose the lead. You want to pad on your already slim 2-point lead, make it 9. That would help a lot if they could do that. But now it's going to be 1st and about 20, and they'll have to do it from there.
There's the call, holding on the offense, and we'll back it up. It's still 1st down. Now the line of scrimmage will be the Thunderbolt 44-yard line. So it will be 1st and 20. 10:20 left to go here in the first half. I might say a penalty-plagued first half.
Definitely.
(12-10) our score. Thunderbolts lead by 2.
Not exactly sure. I can try and find out at halftime what that was all about.
Split wide left and right. Simpkins in motion to the left. The draw play. Bell straight ahead. Bell works his way towards midfield. Does not get there, but gets to the 49. A gain of 5. It'll bring up 2nd and 15.
And Bell, not a bad guy to follow on that play. Big Bubba Brown, 6'3", 353 pounds. Not a bad guy to clear the way for you. So good play. They got 5-6 yards of those back. So they'll need to get a bigger chunk of that, but still not a bad play to come out after a big penalty.
2nd down and 14, the nose of the ball right at midfield.
Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Receivers wide left and right. Harris wide to the right. Simpkin in motion again. The same play, the draw play to Bell. This time a loss of 1 on the play. Now it'll bring up 3rd and 15.
And again, it's Michael Himes who comes in and crashes the scene, gets the trip up, and you're right, it's about a loss of a yard. So third and very long, and that probably means a pass.
I'll say this, Ibrahim Lowe is fired up on defense, the linebacker for the Columbia Cougars. He made a great defensive play on a pass a little while ago, and that time stepped up in, and he is fired up.
Yeah, and so is Himes. Himes is giving the old palms down, waving it like the baseball umpire, like, no, you got nothing on that, and I think he's going to do that every big play that he makes.
So it's 3rd and 15 as Bell loses 1 on that carry. Receivers wide left and right.
Let's go.
Split back formation. Sparks wants to throw. He's going to roll right. He looks. He's under heavy pressure, and he's going to be sacked all the way back to the 44-yard line. And Tyson Adams on the sack. And another big loss, and that'll bring up 4th and 20.
That was a little bit of a coverage sack. Wade rolled to the right, and there was just nobody open. Nobody for him to throw to, and so he had to try to cut his losses. And so, once again, they're going to have to kick, and it's going to be Brian Vandenacker to kick again.
Vandenacker will do the punting. Bronson will be back. As you remember, the last time this happened, he went 68 yards. Fortunately for the T-Bolts, there was a penalty, which saved the score. But virtually the same situation. The line of scrimmage is the 43-yard line. Vandenacker set. There's the snap. He waits. It's blocked. Blocked by Grindle. Picked up at the, dropped. It's loose at the 20. Picked up by the Cougars at the 20 and down to the 15. Inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. And the referee says down. The ball came loose again, and the T-Bolt fell on it, but the referee is signaling down, and Cougar ball at the 12. Joey Vasquez on the recovery.
And again, not a lot of blocking there. Vandenacker did not even have time to kick that ball. Now, the last time they kicked, and we had the penalty and the Bronson return for the apparent touchdown, they got in quick enough to get the tip, and Vandenacker took a couple of hits, but because they tipped it, if that was legal that time, they didn't even give him enough time to do that. He just kicked the ball right into Grindle.
Grindle, the kicker for the Cougars, blocks that punt. And now it is 1st and 10 Cougars at the 12-yard line. We've been in this situation before. The Cougars were down here before 1st and 10 at the 12. Archer, I-back formation. Archer, the handoff. That's Weeks. Weeks steps inside. Weeks inside the 10. Weeks down to the 7. And a gain of 5. It'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Wow, gutty run by Weeks. Now on my roster, I have Michael Himes in here twice, so I don't know whether he's wearing 42 or 37, but 37 is in the backfield with Weeks. So I don't know if you have anything different, but
yeah, that's Himes.
All right, so Lowe is number 42. Okay, so all those times I said it was Himes and it was number 42, that's actually Lowe. So you were right on that one, Dave. But in any event, the Cougars right now have the momentum, and they're taking it to the Thunderbolts, and the Thunderbolts have to respond.
Line of scrimmage is the 8, 4 on the carry, so it'll bring up 2nd and 6. Archer, Bronson's in the slot. There's the handoff again to Weeks. Weeks powers forward and gets close to the 5.
That was a good job by Calvin Armstead to stand up a guy a lot bigger than him. Very good job. He didn't get pushed back at all. Armstead did, but they still get down to the 5, and they have to get. If they get to the 2, they can get a first down. The Cougars can. So I guess that means 3rd and 3. So again, Thunderbolt defense needs to come up big.
3rd and 3 with 5:58 left to go here in the first half. Thunderbolts have led the whole way, but it has been a second half that's completely dominated by the Cougars. Bronson's in the slot. Second quarter dominated by the Cougars. Bronson's in the slot to the right. Receivers wide left and right. Straight ahead, big hole. And that's going to be enough. There's the signal. It is a touchdown. A touchdown on the carry, number 37, Michael Himes. Yep, Michael Himes on the carry for the touchdown. 5 yards on the run for Himes. 16-12, Cougars lead.
Wow.
Point after touchdown coming up by Grindle. 16-12 our score. The snap, it's down. Grindle with the kick. It's blocked. Did we have a flag? Let's see, no flag. It's blocked. Our score, Cougars 16, Thunderbolts 12. Cougars set to kick off with 5:34 left to go in the first half. They lead now 16-12, 16 unanswered points here in the second quarter. Bell at the 5, out to the 10. Looks for a wall of blockers, out to the 15, out to the 20, out to the 25, and out to the 27 for Glenn Bell. Nice little return by Glenn Bell, 22 yards.
And that's, I think that's a little bit of what the Thunderbolts need here. A little good blocking, good play without a penalty. Definitely got to cut out the penalties here. I think that's pretty much what's stopping the Thunderbolts from doing what they want to do on offense is the penalties just put them back to where they have to throw the ball and they can't run. You want to run the ball in between the tackles. You got that big offensive line in front of you. That's what you want to do. Now they're behind, though. So we'll see how that affects Bob Cole's play calling.
Well, now let's give the Cougars some credit. They are playing very, very good defense here in the second quarter. Much better than they played in the first quarter.
Exactly, except for special teams where they blocked the 2 extra points. You're right, they didn't play very well defensively in the first quarter.
Now, here's an offensive set. Trip receivers close inside on the left. Harris now comes motion to the right. Sparks wants to throw. Under pressure. Been under pressure all day. Has Simpkins in the middle and off his chest and incomplete.
And that was almost intercepted by Thomas Martin, but that was right through Simpkins' hands. That would have been a nice start. That would have been about 8 yards on first down if he could have caught that, possibly even more if he can get around Thomas Martin. But, again, just can't make the connections. Don't know what it is out there. I can't explain it right now. They just don't seem to be... it's just not there right now.
Do you think maybe the pressure that Sparks is under caused the recievers to be moved in close that time? They're looking for more protection?
I think you're absolutely right on that. That's they're really wary of protecting Wade right now, and that's why they're doing that.
Trip receivers left. Harris is in the slot left. Lone setback. One to throw. There's the pass to Harris. Harris at the 25. Just to the line of scrimmage and knocked back. What they were trying to do was get a quick little pop to Harris and let him have some room to work with, but there was nothing there.
No, because, again, the Cougars have too much speed on defense for you to do that. Again, when you get into these long situations where you have to pass, a defensive team with a lot of speed is a tough team to beat. You have to beat them with power. And when you have second, third, and fourth and long, you have to throw, and that's exactly what they want you to do, is throw the football, because then that's where all their coverage corners and linebackers who are quick can cover your guys.
Good point, Drew, and it's exactly what you said. It's 3rd and 10, and there has been many times it's been 3rd and 10 for the Thunderbolts. This time they'll go with those trip receivers to the left again. That's Harris up in the slot. The lone setback is Bell. Sparks drops straight back. He's under pressure again. He's going to have to roll under heavy pressure. Rolls to the left, or to the right, out to the 30, out to the 35, out to the 40, out to the 45, and almost to midfield. Wade Sparks turns a potential big sack into a big gain out to the 48, and it'll be first down Thunderbolts.
Now that was a great run by Wade Sparks. He showed no fear, got away from the guys coming from behind, and if it wasn't for a good hit from Michael Goodman, that would have been a lot more yards than it actually was. But that is a potential momentum shifter right there. Great gutty run by Wade Sparks. He's on hands and knees out there. That's how winded he is. He's not used to having to run that far that fast.
Not only that, but he took a big hit at the end of the play, and then you give credit to Sparks when you said he took off at the line of scrimmage, showed no fear, went upfield, evaded a couple of hits, and took a big hit and held on to that football. It is 1st and 10 Thunderbolts at the 48.
Now let's see if that effort multiplies amongst all the other Thunderbolts, as now Alonzo Harden is going to be the single setback out there, so a little change in the offense.
And that's Harris and Simpkins split wide to the left. So the Thunderbolts looking for the skill players out there. There's the pass. Simpkin to the 45, and we got a flag down at the line of scrimmage. I believe that's going to be a hold.
I think you're correct, sir. I do believe that will be a hold, and boy, that's too bad. You get some momentum, and then another one of the pieces of yellow laundry comes down, and you end up losing yardage, and geez, that's just too bad. The continuity is just not there right now. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's just not there.
You can pretty much sum it up in one word for the Thunderbolts in the first half. Too much gabardine on the AstroTurf.
Much too much.
All right, it is the holding call marked off all the way back to the 34-yard line. 24, let's see, it'll bring up first down and 24.
And the bad part about that is that the holding call occurred 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and since you do that from where it happens instead of the line of scrimmage, that's 4 additional yards that you must get to get that first down.
First and 24. Sparks again, the lone setback is Bell. Simpkins up in the slot. The handoff to Bell. The draw play straight ahead. A hole for Bell. Bell out to the 45 and across the 45 to the 47. 13 yards on the carry for Bell, and that'll bring up now 2nd and 11.
Nice tackle by Marvin Bronson, but as you notice, there's quite a few Cougars that are going both ways here, and in a game like this where you have the depth advantage over your opponents, the idea is to stay close until late in the third quarter and the fourth quarter when the other team's two-way players are tired, and then that's where you take that. But if they're ahead by a lot, which is what happened in the Bellingham game, then you have enough points to withstand the late furious rally, which is what the Thunderbolts did then.
Bob Cole has both Simkin and Harris split wide outside. That takes the skill people for the Cougars to the outside and ran a draw play that time with Bell, and Bell successful, actually 10 yards on the carry for Bell, so it'll bring up, it will bring up 2nd down and 12, so 12 yards on the carry for Bell that time. Same formation. This time Sparks wants to throw heavy pressure. He evades the pressure, but not going to get away from one of the down linemen. The blitzers, he got by the blitzers, but Chris Deaver stepped up, and Sparks sacked again, and that's going to go back to the 36, and that will make it 22 yards, 3rd and 22.
And what happened there was, that was pretty much a coverage sack, as only a couple, 3 receivers went out there. Oh, okay.
It was the 2-minute warning. Thunderbolts now looking at 3rd down and 22. Right now, Wade Sparks, 2 of 8 for 5 yards passing. The Thunderbolts with 145 yards rushing, so 150 yards total offense, but Sparks has been running for his life every time he rolls back to pass.
And that's something, as I allude to again, that we've seen that the Thunderbolt defense do, not the other way around.
Split back formation, receivers wide left and right. 3rd and 22. Sparks wants to throw, drops straight back. Looks, pump fakes, pulls the ball down, rolling. Sparks out to the 45. Sparks across midfield. Sparks all the way down to the 45, but that's still going to be about 3 yards short of the first down. And there's a flag late at the play. That may be a personal foul on the Cougars, which would get the T-Bolts a first down.
But the official threw both of his flags, which means I think what he's going to do is he's just going to call one on each player for each side, and so it'll still end up being 4th and 3. It was Sparks doing a good job of carrying Joey Vasquez about 5 yards to get as close as they did, and I don't see, now I see Vandenacker come out there, but for a second there it looked like that the Bolts might go for it, but they're just going to go ahead and kick it away now.
Well, as badly as they've been doing on kicking, they might be wiser to go for it, but it is 4th down and 4 at the 46. 4th and 4 at the 46. Vandenacker in punt formation, and this time back deep to receive. That's number 9, Thomas Martin. 1:47 left to go. First half, Cougars lead 16-12. Vandenacker in punt formation. Martin set to receive. And now we've got a timeout on the field. T-Bolts take a timeout. 4th and 4, and the T-Bolts have elected to go for it. I think a wise move on their part with the problems we've been having in the kicking game. They line up split back formation. Sparks the quarterback. Morgan Willis splits strong side right this time. There's the handoff. Bell straight ahead, hit at the line of scrimmage. He's not going to get it.
And Josh Rado was there first, so no gain, but getting no gain there was better than having it blocked and giving up possession of the ball deep in your own territory, which is basically what happened the last 2 times. The last 2 times they punted the ball, so a very good call.
And of course, the one time they did get the punt away, Marvin Bronson ran it back for a touchdown. There was a penalty which nullified that, but the kicking game has just went south for the Thunderbolts. 1st and 10 for the Cougars. The line of scrimmage will be the 46-yard line. Now, they've not moved the down markers the other way yet. There they go. All right. The line of scrimmage is the 46, the Cougar 46, 1st and 10. They lead 16-12. 12 unanswered T-Bolt points in the first quarter, 16 unanswered Cougar points in the second quarter. Now they're going to shift into the shotgun. Archer in the middle. Motion, that's Bronson. Bronson turns it upfield. Archer wants to throw across the middle. He has a man there, complete, and dropped. And that is a completed pass and drop. Thunderbolts come up with it across midfield to the 40 and down at the 40-yard line.
Great recovery by Kenny Land, but I forget who it was that hit Antoine Williams, but burped him of the ball. Kenny Land gets it, takes it all the way back to the Cougar 40, and again, that's another one of those momentum shifters right there.
Williams did a great job of coming across the middle that time, and the ball hit him right on the money, and he took a step and was hammered. And with the ball coming loose and the TBolts coming up with it, now they have first down at the 40.
Now this double bodyguard shotgun formation is something that I saw a lot of from the Cougars last week, because the Jets were getting in on their quarterback last week, Frank Ulrich. Apparently they felt that they needed to go back to that again this week, and sure, he got the pass off, and sure, it was caught, but boy, they didn't have it for very long.
Well, and Kenny Land took a big-time hit at the end of that one, too, and held on to the ball.
That's great. You love to see your defensive players be able to do that. Hold on to the ball after you've gotten it, after a fumble recovery, interception, whatever, and you take it back that far. And he had to be a little bit winded there. I don't think he's used to running that far with the ball.
1:01 left to go in the first half. Will shifts into strong side right. I-back formation. Sparks wants to throw the quick slant pattern complete to Harris at the 35. Harris turns. Harris out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
You know, by the body language of Harris after he caught that ball, it almost looked like that should have been a hook and lateral. He was looking to pitch that to somebody, and if there was somebody there, that guy could have went straight down the sideline. But we'll take the out of bounds, we'll take the catch, we'll take the gain of about 7 yards. So again, now let's hope that the Thunderbolts can roll with this momentum and punch this puppy into the end zone.
8 yards on the completion from Sparks to Harris. 2nd and 2 from the 32 with 38 seconds left up on the clock in the first half. 16-12, Cougars lead. Will, strong side right. Trip receivers left this time. That's Simpkins in the slot. Sparks wants to throw. He looks across the middle. Has a man there. That's Harris. No, complete on the outside to Simpkin. Simpkin at the 15. Simpkin at the 10. At the 5. Touchdown. Calvin Simpkin.
And Simpkins just simply receives the ball and outruns the Cougar secondary into the end zone for the touchdown.
Sparks saw the cutter across the middle, held off, looked for Simpkin to come open, and 32 yards on the completion from Sparks to Simpkins.
And the other thing I've noticed about the Cougars, they like to play a lot of zone pass defense. And any good quarterback can cut a zone pass defense to ribbons. All you do is you have your receivers sit in an open area, which is exactly what Simpkins did, and then he had the speed to get away from everybody to get into the end zone.
Vandenacker for the point after touchdown. Ryan Ivanoff the hold. 18-16 now our score. TBolts lead.
This is big right here.
Vandenacker. Ryan Ivanoff gets it down. Vandenacker up with the kick, and it is no good. Wide left. 18-16 our score with 28 seconds left to go in the first half. Wow. Vandenacker on the kickoff for the Thunderbolts. A short kick. Fielded at the 22. Out to the 25, that's Golden. Out to the 30, out to the 35, out to the 40, Philip Golden. And it'll be 1st and 10 Cougars with 14 seconds left to go here in the first half.
And everybody in the house knows exactly what the Cougars are going to do. It's going to be one of two things. They'll either kneel on the ball and just lick their wounds and take a two-point deficit into the locker room, or they may go for it for a couple of plays, and if it doesn't work, then maybe take the knee.
Now, what the Cougars are saying down on the field, the clock continued to run. 14 seconds ran off the clock, and I think the referee is going to tell him to put the clock back up. He's got 10 up.
10 seconds on the clock.
And that's what happened. The Cougars were complaining immediately to the ref. The clock continued to run, and they want 10. There it is, what I said.
Actually, it's 18 seconds.
I thought it was 14, but it's 18 seconds they want up on the clock, so the Cougars get a chance to run a play here. They put it up on the clock. 1st and 10. 1st and 10 Cougars. The ball at the 40-yard line. They shift into the shotgun. Archer, the quarterback. The snap to Archer. Archer rolls right, looks, and throws across the middle and complete out to the 49-yard line. And the clock at 10 seconds. We got a flag down, and The clock has stopped with 10 seconds left, but let's see. The flag is back down around the 36-yard line.
And that was a hold on the Cougars, and you're right, the clock never ran, but that's a hold on the Cougars, so they'll lose that almost first down yardage, 9-yard gain because of it. And now some of the officials are waving no catch, so we'll have to find out what that's all about. But if I was the Thunderbolts, I think I'd take the 5 yards, even if it was incomplete. I think I'd take the 5 yards and make them further away from the end zone, or the 10 yards, excuse me.
All right, here's the situation. 10-yard penalty. The pass was incomplete anyway, but 10 yards on the holding call is going to back it up to the 24, where now it'll bring up first down and 20, and the clock showing 9 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's a good, smart move to take the yardage because of all the speed that the Cougars have.
Shotgun formation again for Archer. The snap. Archer drops straight back under pressure. He's going to air it out. He has a man open on the outside and almost picked off. Almost picked off by Jake Hendricks.
Boy, Antoine Williams, he was a basketball player, but you know what? I think what happened there is he just overran the throw of Naaman Archer, because I can't imagine Antoine, who has about 5 or 6 inches on Jake, not out-jumping Jake Hendricks for that ball. So if that's a better thrown ball, that would have been a better result. But a good job by Hendricks to get to the ball and break up that play. So good job, Thunderbolts defense. And now how much time do they have left to defend?
3 seconds up on the clock. Let's see if the Cougars will air this out or just use a running play and take it in. They may not want to risk an interception by throwing the ball long. It is second down and 20 from the 24. We'll see if Archer comes up to the line of scrimmage. My guess is that they're just going to run it. If he steps back in the shotgun formation, they're going to throw it, and he does. They get Williams wide to the left, Bronson wide to the right. Speed on the outside. The throw underneath of Bronson. Bronson can throw the ball. He throws it in the middle and picked off. Picked off by the Thunderbolts. Number 39, Anthony Davis. Davis back up, loses the ball. Bronson picks it up now and finally down, and that's the end of the first half. Our score at the end of the first half. Thunderbolts 18, Cougars 16. Action. Thunderbolts lead 18-16, kicking off a short kick, fair catch signal, and caught at the 29. I thought he gave a fair catch signal. Out to the 30, steps back, and back to the original line of scrimmage. I thought the receiver gave a fair catch signal.
Well, I think what it was is he was trying to tell everybody to get away from it and let me field it. Now, sometimes that can look like a fair catch signal, and every once in a while you get an official that says, okay, that looks too much like a fair catch signal, so I'm going to flag you for calling an invalid fair catch signal. But apparently that's not the way they looked at it. Oh, well, I saw two of the officials looking at each other like, hey, maybe you should have called that. But in any case, they don't call the penalty, and it's at the 31-yard line. That's where the Cougars will start.
2 yards on the kickoff return, fielded at the 29, out to the 31. So all that running around netted 2 yards. Receiver split wide left and right, slot left, and that's Antoine Williams, and he is a speed burner. Motion. Archer, the draw play up front. And that goes to number 37, Michael Himes. And Himes out to the 35, a gain of 4.
And again, maybe we're going to see the same thing that we did at the start of the first half, where the Cougars run up the middle to try and set up the pass. Now, we saw how well it worked last half. Now we'll see if it works again, or whether the Thunderbolts are wise to it and actually do something about it.
I was looking down on the field for Savarich, and I don't see him anywhere.
At halftime, I noticed the trainer looking at him. He was doing neurological type testing, checking his eyes and everything. And he said he had a little blurriness in his right eye, a little bit off to the corner of his eye. But he was trying to say that he was okay. But I think the trainer, as a precautionary measure, is going to keep him out for a while.
2nd and 6. Weeks in motion. Archer wants to throw under pressure, steps up in the pocket, pulls it down, and Archer out to the 38-yard line. And that will bring up 3rd down and 3.
Nice combination tackle by Aaron Dressler and Kenny Land. Kenny, the guy who brought back that fumble return. You remember that from the first half. Kenny's been a great pickup for the Thunderbolt defense. Done a lot for them, but now the defense again has a chance to stiffen on 3rd and 3 here. Give the offense the ball back and hopefully add on to this now precarious 4-point lead.
2-point lead, 18-16.
My bad.
Math was not your subject, Drew. Okay?
No, just my Kreskin memory courses. I failed at all those.
Weeks the up back, Himes the deep back. Archer with 3rd and 3. Has Williams in the slot left, and we got a lot of motion, and there's the flags.
And I think that one's going to go against number 69, and that would be Daniel Glidden. It looked like he was the first guy to move, and then the guy next to him also moved at the same time. But again, there's going to be a discussion as to whether maybe maybe the guy jumping into the neutral zone caused that. Now, in the NWFL, up until this year, they had something to where if the defense jumped off sides and the offensive lineman either came straight up or went straight back, they would call that nothing. They would just simply stop the play, say both teams violated, nothing. And that's exactly what they just called. They called the do-over because the offensive lineman came straight up or straight back rather than going forward. If he goes forward, then they're going to call that a false start on the offense and nothing on the defense.
All right. How many do-overs do each team get a half? And when I get a play that hurts me, I want a do-over.
Exactly right. But I think there's an unlimited number of do-overs, Dave.
First time I heard a referee said that's a do-over. I formation. Archer under pressure, the little lob pass outside, caught by Himes. Himes to the 40 and out to the 44-yard line. Nice job by Himes on a one-handed catch.
And an even better job by Aaron Dressler to take him down from behind, but it looks like Alonzo Harden is hurt.
Harden tried to get up and could not. It is a first down for the Cougars, and Harden is down on the field. 1st and 10 Cougars. The ball at the 44-yard line. Harden, the injured player, down on the side. Looks like they're working on his left knee. I formation. Archer wants to throw in the middle behind and complete there to Dion Rhodes. And Rhodes kind of slipped and then tried to turn upfield and was tackled. But a gain on the play out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
And that's a good job by Dressler. After Rhodes slipped and fell down, Dressler closed in on him and didn't allow him to get away to get more yardage. But they might have got more yards if Rhodes wouldn't have slipped, but I think that was one of those things where he tried to do something that the body couldn't do. He tried to go one way or the other, and he tried to move too quickly, and that's why he lost his feet from up underneath of him.
I noticed you guys don't say who's the number at that.
Receiver split wide left and right. I-back formation. Williams in the slot left. And Archer wants to throw. He looks at Williams. Williams is open. There's the completion to the 45. Williams cuts it back outside and tries to get back upfield and gets to the 41. Antoine Williams with that great speed and those great moves to the 41, and that will be a Cougar first down.
Now that time, it looked like the Thunderbolts just backed off of him and gave him way too much room. And that's something that's really dangerous with these guys. You can't do that. You have to play bump and run with them because if you don't knock them off their routes and you play a zone pass defense, they're going to do the same thing the Thunderbolts did late in the first half against the Cougar defense. They're just going to send guys sit in soft spots of the zone, and they're just going to keep on moving the football. You got to take some chances sometimes.
Well, it's a two-edged sword. If you don't cut somebody down at the line of scrimmage, they're by you. And that you're right, Drew. That time they gave Williams a lot of room.
And look at that. He's Hendricks is giving him about 8 to 10 yards right now.
There's the handoff. Weeks tries to turn it upfield and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And forget about that. That was Greg Gadboys and the Studley, Nathan Berge on that play. That was nothing. In fact, somebody, I don't know, I think there was Lonnie Bowden, almost got him in the backfield, so that one just simply went nowhere.
2nd and 10 coming up. When I look down at Harden, now it looks like they're working on his ankle. So we'll try to get an update on what the situation is with Harden.
Now, the winner of this game pretty much has a stranglehold on the second place in the Northwest Football League, pretty much. In fact, if the Thunderbolts can win this game, they've got a shot at winning the league title because they have yet to play the Puget Sound Jets. And if they can keep on winning and beat the Jets, they would have the league title and the number 1 seed in the Northwest Football League playoffs.
Archer wants to throw quick, looks to the outside. There's Williams. Williams at the 35, tries to turn back inside. Williams down to the 32-yard line. Antoine Williams with that great speed again.
But he tried to stiff arm the face mask of Hendricks, and Hendricks would have none of that and brought him down.
9:34 left to go in the third quarter. Thunderbolts lead 18-16. Cougars on the move. First down now, 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
And there's another thing that defensive backs will tell you is you give them a lot of room, but the closer they get to your end zone, the less room you give them out on the wide receiver. So it could be that the closer they get, the further up Hendricks is going to play, and then you just don't have a lot of room to work when you get down there.
That's a good point. Sometimes the receivers say, I would rather be further back than up close to the goal line because I don't have a lot of room to work with, and the defensive back is right up on top of me.
Exactly.
Wide to the right is Williams. Bronson in the slot. Rhodes is split to the left. 1st and 10. This looks like a slant play coming up. Archer wanted to throw in the slant. Now he's got Williams open, doesn't see him, and he's going to put it up for grabs and complete to Bronson. Bronson down around the 5. Bronson came back to the ball for the catch.
And Bronson beat Van Velarde on that play, and Velarde recovered, and Calvin was also there to stop that from being a touchdown. But again, now you're starting to see the two-way players from the Cougars getting a little bit tired, and now Archer is having to run for his life back there. Gad boys almost got him, and now we're starting to see what we're used to seeing with the Thunderbolt defense, where the other team goes back to pass, the quarterback's got to run for his life. They were just lucky that Bronson, I believe, they were lucky that Bronson was open.
Archer never saw Williams in the middle, and Williams was wide open, standing with his hand going back and forth. Archer didn't see him, and then Archer just put the ball up for grabs on the outside, but Bronson was able to come back and for the catch. It's now 1st and goal at the 4. Himes the up back, Weeks the deep back. Rashad Grant also now in the backfield, and we've got a flag.
And the thing about that, with Williams being open, if he's open down the middle, when you have all these people coming in your face, you don't have a chance to see way down there to see who's open. You're worried about getting out with your life, which is why he had to run to his right and then just throw it up there and hope somebody in a white jersey was there to make the catch, which it was in that case.
You don't have a lot of time to look downfield when you hear those footsteps. 8:07 left to go here in the third quarter. 18-16, Thunderbolts lead.
Not just hear the footsteps, but when those guys with the big numbers and big bodies are coming at you, you're not worried about whether number 81 is open 50 yards down the field. You're wondering whether they're going to have to scrape you off the carpet after the play is over with.
When I played football in high school, I didn't want anybody hitting me who had 2 numbers on there. I only wanted the guys with 1 numbers to hit me.
Single-digit guys, huh?
First down. Full house backfield. Archer rolls, looks, he has a man open. That's Bronson, but overthrew him.
That wouldn't have mattered on that play. That was great coverage by Hendricks and Armstead. I don't even think he could have got that, and I think that was a good throwaway by Archer. He knew that play wasn't going to get much, so rather than take the chance of throwing the interception, he just throws it too wide for Bronson. Now, Bronson's working on the official over there. He thought he was held or whatever, but that didn't look like that. That wasn't even a catchable ball, let alone interference, so...
Good point. Bronson was working the referee, but he did not get off the line of scrimmage. He was not held, and it was not a catchable ball. And good job by Archer that time to kind of not take that big chance of throwing that ball in there and getting it intercepted. But Bronson was trying to work to the outside corner. Second down, 2nd and goal from the 4. Himes will be the up back. Weeks the deep back. Bronson this time is lined up in a close on the right. Williams in the slot on the left. Archer's going to roll left again, going to throw. Williams out there and off his fingertips in the end zone.
Ooh, a better thrown ball, and that's 6 points for the Cougars. So the Thunderbolts come up a little bit lucky on that play.
All right. I got it. All right. Sometimes, there's a lot of glare down there. The ball is on the 9. When I said it was on the 4, it's on the 9.
Oh.
So it's first and goal, or now it's third and goal at the 9.
If all else fails, just look at the stick. Hopefully it's close to a yard line that you can see the big numbers.
I got it.
Oh, you don't want to ask the cameraman.
No, we'll give the credit where it's due. The cameraman pointed that out.
The cameraman pointed that out to you.
All right.
That time.
Third and goal from the 9. High formation. Bronson again inside on the right. Archer wants to throw under pressure across the middle. Bronson hit. It looked like it was going to be a catch, and Bronson hammered.
But what happened was Aaron Dressler came in and tipped the ball first, which means that early hit on Bronson was legal because the ball was tipped by Aaron Dressler, the defender, so all bets were off after that.
And you see the referee clearly gave that. The minute that happened, he started making that little motion with his hands against each other. The ball was tipped. So it is fourth down, and Ben Grindle in to try the field goal. Now a successful field goal would put the Cougars ahead by 1, so this is a big field goal attempt.
And that's why I said that last touchdown for the Thunderbolts, that extra point was big, because if they make that and then Grindle makes this, it's a tie ball game.
Down, Grindle with the kick. It's a low driving kick, and it's good. It's good. And 26 yards on the field goal for Ben Grindle puts the Cougars ahead 19-18. Cougars kick off. A deep kick fielded by Harris. Harris drops it, picks it up. He's going to have to come out. Harris out to the 5 and hit. Out to the 10, gets free again, and out to the 12.
And you remember earlier in the game where there was a kick into the end zone, or near the end zone, that was muffed by the Cougars. It went in the end zone, and then he had to bring it out. Same exact thing happened there, where Harris couldn't quite get a handle on it while it was in the field of play. It goes back into the end zone. He had no choice. If he takes a knee, it's a safety. So he had to run it out. But despite all that, they still managed to get it out to about the 12-yard line. So that's not bad, considering.
First and 10 at the 12. For the Thunderbolts. They trail now 19-18 on the 26-yard field goal by Ben Grindle. 7:02 left to go here in the third quarter. Wade Sparks, the quarterback. Bell, the up back. Simpkins, the deep back. Let's see if the Thunderbolts start in the air or keep it on the ground. They're going to start in the air. Nightingale with the catch. And this is the way the game started for the Thunderbolts. A completion from Sparks to Nightingale for 5.
Yeah, it was about 6 or 5, whatever it was, and then Simpkins went all the way after that for 59 yards. That wouldn't be too bad for the Thunderbolts. In fact, I think that would be what the doctor ordered if that could happen right here.
All right, a gain of 4 on the play, and so it's second down and 6.
Don't like me.
And the Thunderbolts will go with trip receivers right. That's Harris to the inside, Nightingale to the outside, and Calvin Simpkin in the slot.
This could be that draw play up the middle to Bell again.
They've run the draw off of this play. They do again. Here comes Bell. Bell out to the 20, out to the 25, and out to the 27-yard line. He'll have a first down.
And going off the past success of this during this game, it looks like I think the Thunderbolts are going to call this formation a lot, because you alluded to it earlier when they first started doing this. By bringing those trip receivers out to one side, it spreads out the Cougar defense, and then with the big advantage that the Thunderbolt offensive line has over the defensive line of the Cougars, that makes that play successful all the time.
The Thunderbolts get the benefit of the one-on-one blocking up front, and a big hole for Bell that time, and a first down. So the ball at the 26-yard line. First and 10 Thunderbolts. Again, the same formation. Let's see if we run the draw play off of that again. Sparks. No, wants to throw under heavy pressure. Steps up, avoids the pressure. Now forward and gets back maybe to the line of scrimmage, maybe 1.
A gutty run there. He had to run for his life. Now, there, I don't think they had softened him up just enough yet. They were just coming, and if they would have ran the delay again, you know that when a defense blitz, there's that wall of defenders that goes by, and as long as on the delay, the running back can get past that first wall of defenders, then you got nothing but space in front of you. So they probably should have ran the delay again.
It's second down and a long 9. Now the receivers split wide left and right. That's Nightingale out to the left. Harris to the right. They are strong side right. Simkin now at tailback. Sparks wants to throw, under pressure, rolls right again, looks, downfield, throws it to the outside. Harris, and overthrown out of bounds.
That actually wasn't a bad throwaway by Sparks. Throw it in a place where only your receiver is going to be able to catch it, where the ball cannot be intercepted. So that's a good, smart, veteran-type play for the quarterback out of PSU and Oregon City High School, I believe.
Wade Sparks did play for the Oregon City Pioneers, then played at Portland State, of course, backing up Jimmy Blanchard last year. 19-18 our score, 4:42 left to go here in the third quarter. Cougars lead by 1. And it's third down and a long 9. It was 18-16 Thunderbolts at halftime. Kind of a strange game, too. 12 points by the Thunderbolts in the first half, 16 points by the first quarter, 16 points by the Cougars in the second quarter, 16 unanswered points before the Thunderbolts scored. Sparks wants to roll right, looks, going to air it out to Harris. He's going to have to jump for it, and does, and loses the jump off there to number 9, Thomas Martin.
Yeah, the ball was just slightly underthrown. Harris had his guy beat by about a half a step, but that's another one where you got to throw that to where only your guy can catch it, and Sparks got a little bit lucky there that Martin couldn't come up with it.
And it'll bring up fourth down, and the Thunderbolts will have to punt, and boy, it was an awful first half for punting for the Thunderbolts.
Oh my, that's all I can say about that. Oh my, let's just hope it gets better here for the Thunderbolts. Special teams generally hasn't been that bad for the Thunderbolts this year. In fact, it's been one of their strengths by blocking the other team's kicks, especially extra points. But boy, today, different story.
Vandenacker in punt formation. Bronson back to receive. We'll watch the snap because that has not been good. It is this time. Vandenacker gets a kick away, a high kick, a short kick. It's going to bounce at the 50 and going to bounce and go out of bounds right at the 45-yard line where the Cougars will start on offense. First and 10, a quick update. Harden, who the player was down, has his ankle wrapped. So it was an ankle for Bronco Harden, and Savaric is not out on the field, so it doesn't look like he's going to play in the second half.
I think you're right, Dave, and judging by how much ace bandage and how much stuff is underneath that ace bandage, I don't think there's any way he's going to play. He's got practically all of his pads off right now. That's too bad. He must have severely sprained his ankle at the very least. I'm sure if it was broken, they probably would have taken him to the hospital, but it's definitely a severe ankle sprain, so we're not going to see Bronco Harden for the rest of this game.
4:26 left in the third. First and 10 Cougars. They lead by 1, 19-18. Split back formation. Archer has went all the way at quarterback. Archer, the handoff. That is Victor Weeks, and Weeks gets 1.
Now, as far as playoff positioning here, and it's not too early to start talking about this because, as I mentioned, next week the Cougars travel to Jefferson High School to play the Multnomah County Buccaneers, and then they have 3 relatively easy games. That's why this is a very important game for the Thunderbolts to win, because it just gets easier for them, but the Thunderbolts still have to play the Buccaneers themselves, and the week before that, they get to travel up to Auburn to play the Puget Sound Jets. So going into that with some momentum is absolutely key.
I believe the undefeated Puget Sound Jets.
Yes, you are correct. The undefeated Puget Sound Jets.
Split back formation. Slot left this time. Second down and 9. Archer, the handoff. That's Weeks again. Weeks cross midfield. Weeks across the 45, and he'll have the first down all the way down to the Thunderbolt 43-yard line.
That was a good job by the middle of the offensive line by the Cougars to give Weeks all kinds of room to run. Again, not something we're used to seeing from the Thunderbolt defense, giving up that much yardage up the gut.
And James Hilliard coming off the field that time limping. .310 left to go here, third quarter. And Hilliard now up walking around, so he looks to be okay. Split back formation. Bronson this time in the slot to the left. Williams split wide to the left. The handoff to Himes. Himes straight ahead. Himes will be down to the 40. A gain of 3. It'll bring up second and 7.
what was that we saw one time? Lieutenant Montgomery Scott on the original Star Trek series. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, that time they tried to fool him twice, and the Thunderbolts said, "Nuh-uh, not this time."
I only have one thing to say in response to that. Scotty Beam drew up.
And of course, the really funny thing about that is our cameraman is Scotty, so his first name's Scott. So Scotty, beam us both up.
It will be 2nd down and 7. 2nd and 7 for the Cougars. Boy, and the Thunderbolts just have not had the ball very much here in the third quarter.
And if I really wanted Scotty to beam me anything, how about an air conditioner?
Yeah, we'll take that first. Archer wants to throw, rolls left, going to pull it down. The quarterback keeper, Archer to the 35, across the 35 to the 32, very close to the first down, may have the first down.
Boy, that was a good move by Archer to get past Studley, Nathan Berge on that play. He really faked him out pretty good. But it looks like they're about a half a yard short.
They are just short, so it'll be 3rd down and maybe a yard. 1:25 left to go in the third. Boy, and the Thunderbolts they can't get a score if they don't ever get the ball.
That's very true. But then again, if the defense scores enough points for you to win, you don't have to worry about whether the offense scores or not.
3rd down. And right now, I don't know if you noticed or not, Drew, but on the last couple of plays, the Cougars have taken a long time in the huddle. I think they're trying to cut the time down in this game.
I think you're right. I think there's also the two-way player factor, too.
I think that's a good point. I formation. Straight ahead. Oh, the quarterback, Archer, and hit hard. It looked like his forward progress got him close, but he was hammered backwards.
Boy, he really was. I don't think he got anything. As a matter of fact, I think he lost a foot or two on that play. I mean, he just started to go in there, and Aaron Dressler came in and just smacked him a good one. Just put him backwards right on his keister, and he lost the length of the football on that play. They went backwards.
Yeah, they're not even going to measure this one, so it's 4th down. 4th down, Archer goes over to the sideline to get a play. 15 seconds. I don't know whether they'll get a play off or not. We'll watch the clock. 8 seconds as they head up towards the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down, as I told you. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. There it is. Our score at the end of 3. Cougars 19, Thunderbolts 18.
Yep. Looking to run out the time so they can switch ends and see what they want to do. That's a good way to go.
Fourth quarter action coming up here. 19-18. Cougars lead by 1. The injured player, Bronco Harden, you can see he has a big ice wrap on his left ankle, and he's had that since he went down. So clearly he's not going to get back in the game when we'll have to check on his availability for next week.
Yes, we will. It's a good thing that we have Calvin Simpkins and Glenn Bell and all those other guys, but it's still tough to see him down like that.
4th down and about a half a yard. Archer went for the quarterback sneak last time. Let's see what he does this time. The handoff, Weeks straight ahead. He'll have the first down.
Oh, that was too bad. They caved him in just enough on the right side of the defensive line, but Weeks went to his right side, which was within the left side of the defensive line of the Thunderbolts, and got just exactly what he needed.
Cougar first down at the Thunderbolt 32-yard line. Cougars lead by 1, 19-18. The only scoring in the third quarter, the 26-yard field goal by Ben Grendel to put the Cougars up by 1.
And what a contrast to the first half where we were going up and down the field, lots of penalties, called back touchdowns, interceptions, fumble returns, and now it's, well, in baseball terms, it's down to a pitcher's duel.
1st and 10, split back formation. Archer wants to throw, is going to throw on the outside, has a man out there, complete, no, dropped at the last minute by Deion Rhodes. Rhodes had a step on the defender, turned around, the ball hit him in the numbers, and he dropped it.
And I think Hendricks got in there just in time to get a little piece of that, just to stop Rhodes from catching that. Rhodes, as he's coming back, he's saying, darn, and I'm using the cleaned up version of that. He thought he should have had that, and I think he should have had it too, but Hendricks did a good job of recovering and breaking that up. As little skin as he got on that ball, it was enough to stop Rhodes from catching the ball.
It hit Rhodes right between the 2 8s that he's got out there on the front of his jersey, and he just dropped it. A good call that time by the Cougars to go for it all on first down. I-back formation, 2nd and 10. The handoff, that's Weeks. Weeks forward. Weeks down inside the 35 to the 32, a gain of 5. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Calvin Armstead came up with the tackle on that play. He's played a lot more on defense lately, and he's actually having a pretty good game. He's the special teams captain, and normally that's usually when you see him. You don't see him very much on defense, but he's had a pretty good game along with a few others. But again, as you've alluded to before, the Cougars just trying to grind out the clock. They've got a 1-point lead, so they have the luxury of taking all that time.
19-18, Cougars lead by 1. 3rd and 5. Receivers wide left and right. That's Bronson up in the slot to the left. Archer, he's going to roll left. Archer, the quarterback keeper, and that's designed all the way. Archer down to the 30, down to the 25-yard line. He'll be short. It'll bring up 4th and 2, I believe.
And how did he get away from Nathan Berge? Boy, Archer must still have the moves. This is like his 7th or 8th year in this league, and he can still move. He got away from, not too many people get away from Nathan Berge, but he did, and got as close as he did. I don't think we're going to see the field goal here. I think they're going to go for it.
It's 4th and 3. They need to get to the 22. They're at the 25. A field goal would be about a 43-yarder, so it's going to be... Well, let's see, checking in, Frank Ulrich checks in.
Okay, now this is where we might see that Cordell Stewart type play if Naaman is still in there.
He's not.
He is not. So I guess that means that that Ulrich is now, yes, he's coming in at quarterback. So I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't, that he's coming in now. I thought he would be in here much earlier than that.
Archer, the quarterback, I-back formation, split wide left and right. Bronson's in the slot. Archer wants to throw. Pressure from the backside, complete to Bronson. Bronson down to the 17 and a first down.
And that's kind of what you call a changeup right there. Ulrich comes in for one play. He gets the completion in the first down to Bronson, and now he goes right back over. I think this maybe will be a permanent change now, as Ulrich is just going to stay in. Both he and Archer are 2 of the top 3 rated passers in this league. So I guess I'm not surprised that Archer has played this much, but I thought Ulrich would get the start and go most of the way.
Now Archer's over on the sideline. You remember he took a big hit on the play before, and he has been limping just a little bit over there. So this may be a change due to that hit he took. Archer's the quarterback. It's 1st and 10. Nice job by Bronson that time, lining up in the slot and coming up with that catch. Himes, the ball carrier, Himes, inside the 15 to the 14. A gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
That was Russ Fouts with a really good tackle on that play. Isn't it a nice luxury to have Naaman Archer, your backup quarterback, gets the start, goes as far as he has now. Then he gets hurt, and you can go to your starting QB. That's a great luxury to have.
11:30 left to go here in the game. 19-18, a 1-point Cougar lead. And I'm looking over to the sideline for Archer, and Archer's standing over there still. Ulrich brings him up to the line of scrimmage, I formation, split wide left and right. Ulrich wants to throw. No, the pitch to the tailback. That's Weeks. Weeks inside the 15, down to the 13, down to the 12.
And I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but I definitely said it to your predecessor, Tim. The option play generally does not work on a consistent basis in this league, and the reason is that the athletes on defense are just much too good. The option does not usually work. It has to be an every once in a while surprise, hey, we just fooled you type of play, and it didn't really fool them that much on this one.
Right, it was Himes on the carry that time, 37, not 34. So Himes on the carry. It is now 3rd down and 5. Make that a long 5. And the Cougars stay with Ulrich at quarterback. And let's see. Thunderbolts want to take a timeout on the field. 10:16 left to go in the game. 19-18, Cougars lead. They come up to the line of scrimmage. It is 3rd and 5 from the 12. And Ulrich still a quarterback now. I-back formation. Williams split wide to the left. Rhodes wide to the right. Bronson is lined up tight on the left. Williams in motion. Ulrich wants to throw. He looks to the outside. There's Williams, and Williams with the catch and a flag. Now we're going to have to see which way this goes.
That's going to be pass interference on Andre Harris, I can tell you right now. And if the NWF rule is still the same, that happened in the end zone, that's going to be 1st and goal from the 1 for the Cougars.
There's the call. It is pass interference on the Thunderbolts. And they're going to move this up. Yep. Bronco Harden being taken off right now on one of those little John Deere carts.
Yeah, that's too bad to see him hurt, but that penalty definitely hurts. And we have Van Velarde working the officials saying, hey, how was that interference and everything like that. I'm just going to say no comment.
So now 1st and goal from the 1. And the Cougars will split everybody wide left and right. And straight ahead, there's the carry. And it is, well, let's see, that is 37, Himes. Himes for the touchdown.
His number's wrong. Should be Hines 57. Sorry.
And Michael Himes on the carry for the touchdown. And now the score goes to 25-18. A big extra point coming up here because the lead is now 7. The extra point could take it to 8.
And you remember I alluded to this very early in the game that you have to get these quote gimmies, these extra points. If the Thunderbolts can stop them from getting this extra point here, then you're only down by 7 and you can tie the ball game. Otherwise, you have to go for 2 if it comes down to that.
10:08 left to go. Ben Grindle in for the point after touchdown. Ulrich will hold. The snap, it's down. The kick is up by Grindle. It's partially blocked at the line of scrimmage and no good. And a break for the Thunderbolts. They keep the lead at 7. 10:08 to go. Our score, Cougars 25, Thunderbolts 18.
Now you just got to make sure that when we score the touchdown, our guy.
Cougars set to kick off. They lead by 7, 25-18. Driving kick going to be fielded by Harris at the 4. Harris out to the 10, the 15 to the 20, out to the 25, out to the 26. And the TBolts need to come up with some offensive consistency now.
That was actually a good job by Anthony Buncher to defeat his block, get outside, and get Harris out of bounds, because if he gets blocked, Harris has Moses parting the right C down the near sideline into the end zone for a touchdown. So a good job by Buncher to break up that play. But as it is, they still get all the way out to the 26-yard line. So that's good field position to start off.
Did you say defeat?
Defeat the block, yes.
Do you know who Vinko Bogataj is? He is the agony of defeat. He's the guy who went over the side of the ski ramp. Vinko Bogataj.
Yes, the agony of defeat, yes.
I formation for the Thunderbolts.
Always wondered what that guy's name was.
New quarterback for the Thunderbolts, Ryan Ivanoff. Hands off that time, and on the carry,
Calvin Simpkins, and he didn't get much.
Simpkins on the carry out to the 20. Well, let's make it the 28, a gain of 2. It'll bring up 2nd and 8. So a switch. Trip receivers left. The pitch to Bell. Bell going to run the sweep to the left to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, and out of bounds. And a nice run that time by Glenn Bell and a first down.
Boy, I hate to speak ill of Calvin Simpkins, but if he could get a block and hold his guy where he was, Bell could have got around the corner and went all the way. But that's still a good enough job to block enough to let Bell get plenty of yardage for the first down. But that bodes well because they went with that trips receiver formation again that we talked about, where they've usually done the delay and go up the middle. This time they ran around it, and the Cougars couldn't get out there. They did not have the speed, and that's surprising to me.
And as I said, the Thunderbolts have made a quarterback change. Ryan Ivanoff is now in the game at quarterback. The I formation. Receivers wide left and right. Ivanov. The straight ahead, the draw play to Mason, and that goes nowhere. Mason will lose one.
And a very good tackle by Mike Belisle. Did a good job of wrapping up Half Case and not letting him get away, because, again, if Half Case beats him, he's got a lot of room to run.
8:50 left to go in this one. Thunderbolts trail by 7, 25-18. Thunderbolts have not scored in the second half. They led 18-16 at halftime.
And this isn't panic time yet, but you definitely want to get a few first downs. Show you can move the ball, and then maybe if you give up the ball, get the ball back and then score.
Trip receivers right. Bell, the lone setback. They like to run the draw play off of this. There it is. Bell straight ahead. Bell at the 45 across midfield and into Cougar territory and close to the first down.
And again, this time they decided to go up the middle on the delay, and if it wasn't for Thomas Martin, again, Half Case goes a heck of a lot longer than he did.
This is very close. They may need to measure this. And no, they're not going to. It's short, and it's short by maybe a foot.
The great thing about having an artificial turf field is you have all the lines and everything, and it's easy to look over there and say, okay, that's where the stick is, this is where the ball is. We can tell it's not short. We don't need a measurement.
And that is a good point. You can clearly look across the sideline and see the little tick marks over there, and they're short about a foot. So it is third down and about a foot. Bell the up back, Simpkins the deep back. And Ivanov, the quarterback keeper, Ivanov has the first down to about the 42.
Hey, how about that? You run right behind the center, big Rod Wilson. In fact, that whole middle of the line just caved them in. That was about what, eight yards on a quarterback sneak?
Well, actually, it was about 5, but first down for the Thunderbolts. Ivanov on the quarterback keeper. Clock shows 7:25 left to go here in the game. Receivers wide left and right. Nightingale to the left, Harris to the right. Simpkins cuts between the tackle and the guard and all the way down to the 32-yard line and close to another first down.
And again, we're seeing the two-way players, the Cougars, they're tired, and you probably see in the top of your screen, they're trying to shuttle guys in, but they definitely look tired out there. And the Thunderbolts are deeper, and they're running with their advantage, which is in between the tackles behind their big guys.
First down, 1st and 10 at the 32. Again, Nightingale will split to the left and Harris split to the right. The Cougars on the move under the Thunderbolts on the move under Ryan Ivanov. I-back formation. There's the handoff to Simpkin. He's going to run the other way this time, tries to get around the corner, hit, and maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
And that's a good job by the kicker/defensive end Grindle to string that play out until help could arrive and nothing. But that time, maybe as a change-up, they decided to run outside instead of running up the middle, and we have a Cougar down.
25-18 our score. Thunderbolts trail by 7. 6:27 left to go here. Second down and about 9 for the Thunderbolts. This time Jordan will split wide to the left, Harris wide to the right. Morgan will line up strong side right. Bell the up back.
And it's Jarvis Abston at the tailback position.
Ivanov wants to throw. He throws underneath to Will, the tight end, complete inside the 25 and down at the 24, 23-yard line. Ivanov to Morgan Will.
Morgan Will, a member of the Linfield College 1992 National Championship team, so he knows what it's like to be in a multifaceted offense where you throw to the tight end sometimes.
Sometimes that's the first throw to the tight end tonight.
Well, I mean, when it was at Linfield, it was a multifaceted offense, but actually Coach Bob Cole says he likes to throw to the tight end. It's just that you can't do it all the time.
And I've seen the offenses Bob Cole had at Portland State, and he does like to throw to the tight end. Split wide left and right. Ivanov straight ahead. Ivanov will have the first down. And all the way down to the 20 and maybe inside the 20. We got a flag down too.
That's probably going to be holding, but Lionel Little Train Chapman was out there lined up at the running back, and that fooled him enough. But Oh, it's a face mask against the defense, so that's going to be at least another 5 yards. He didn't give the personal foul signal before it, so I can only assume that that's the minor 5-yard penalty, but that'll definitely be, they already had the first down anyway, but that's another 5 yards of field position. So that didn't look like it was so good at the start, but now that's even a bigger break for the Thunderbolts. But it's glad to see Little Train Chapman out there playing. It's good to see Abston out there playing and everything since Bronco Harden went down and they just carted him off not too long ago.
5:18, a lot of time left in this one, a lot of time. Thunderbolts come to the line of scrimmage. It is first down, and the ball is spotted at the 14. They've not yet moved the flags up. They need to do that, and now they're going to do that.
And now they're going to try that trip receivers to the bottom of the screen, the near sideline, and the half case, the single back in the backfield. Now you see Morgan Will there. That's part of their Thunder Eye thing where he starts there and then he moves to one side or the other. So he won't stay there for long.
1st and 10 at the 13. So 1st and 10 at the 13. Bell is the lone setback. Trip receivers left, including Calvin Simkin in the slot. There's the pitch to Bell. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Bell back to the line of scrimmage barely, but there's a flag down, and that is a flag that when the play first started went down, so we'll have to wait, but it could have been an offside.
Well, yeah, it could have been either team lined up offsides. I don't know which way we're going on this one. We'll find out in just a second here. And it is on the defense, and that is a big break for the Thunderbolts because that play got nothing. In fact, I even thought it lost a yard, and now they're going to end up getting 5 yards out of it, and it'll be 1st and 5. So now the Cougars, who hadn't committed a lot of penalties late in the second quarter, almost all the way through the third quarter, now all of a sudden are taking themselves out of the game by committing stupid penalties and making dumb mistakes. But again, that could be because of general fatigue of their two-way players.
5-yard penalty, so it cuts it down now to 1st and 5. Somebody lined up in the neutral zone that time. 5:15 left to go here. A 7-point Cougar lead, 25-18. Simkin the deep back this time. Field split wide left and right. There's the handoff. Bell straight ahead. Bell down to the 5. And he'll be short of the first down by maybe a yard and a half. So it'll be second down and about a yard and a half.
And that clock is ticking down. We're now under 5 minutes, so it almost makes it imperative that the Thunderbolts get some points on this. Even if they have to settle for a field goal, get some points on this possession. Don't turn it over. Don't fail to get into the end zone. You got to get points. A touchdown will be great, but we're getting to crunch time here, and we may ixnay on the time over yay, but we had that the first game. We may see it again.
Bell and Simpkins. Will shifts into strong side right this time. They're short of the first down by 2. Need to get to the 3. They're at the 5. Ivanov, the pitch. Simpkins tries to cut it inside. Does. Simkin a big hole close to the goal line. Drops the ball. It's into the end zone and covered. Is that a touchdown? No signal yet.
And let's see what they do here. All the players are yes, and they do call it a touchdown. Apparently, while Simpkins was diving for the end zone, he put the ball down first, and before his knee touched, putting the ball down, jarred it loose from his hands, and there was another Thunderbolt there, and I didn't see who it was, but he fell on the football, and that's 6 points.
And here is the situation, and it's huge. It's 25-24, a 1-point lead, 3:59 left to go in this one, and it is in the hands of Ryan Vandenacker.
No, that looks like Ivanov out there. It looks like they're going to go for 2.
And that is it. A gutsy play by the Thunderbolts. They're going to go for 2. They are going to go for 2, and now the Thunderbolts want to take... No, the Cougars want to take a timeout. 25-24 our score. 3:59 left to go in this one. Thunderbolts trail by 1. They are definitely going for 2. They're going for the win. A gutsy call. Let's see it unfold. Ivanov, the quarterback. There's the handoff straight ahead to Simkin, and he's not going anywhere.
That's too bad. They went right up the middle, and it looked like the Cougars were ready and waiting for that. And, again... we saw how that trips formation worked and running up the middle. Maybe that's the one they should have went with, but they gambled and they lost. So now they're going to have to kick off down by a point with just under 4 minutes to go.
I would have probably gone with that trips formation in that situation because it had worked so well up till then, but also you're down close, and maybe you didn't have enough room to run it. But the Thunderbolts come up short. Now still, there's plenty of time left in this game. There's almost 4 minutes left. 3:59. The Thunderbolts trail by 1, 25-24.
That part I don't like, though, is that the last time the Cougars had the ball, they moved the ball pretty well, running the football, which means you run a lot of time off the clock. Now, the Thunderbolt defense, it's obvious here, they have to come up big. They've got to stop them and leave their offense enough time to get in field goal range. Well, that's even if you want to try a field goal. They may have to score a touchdown to win this thing.
Thunderbolts set to kick off. It'll be Brian Vandenacker will kick off. You can see the Cougars are expecting an onside kick. They have 10 people up within 10 yards of the kicker.
This may come back to haunt them because by having all those people up who can't block as well, Dion Rhodes, who's way back there at the 5, may not have a lot of room to run.
I think we're going to kick away, and we do. It's a kick. It's going to look like it's going to be fielded by Rhodes at the 20, out to the 25, to the 30, out to the 35, and out to the 37-yard line, Dion Rhodes.
Well, they got a lot more yardage than I thought they would get on that, but any way you look at it, the defense has to come up big right here.
It was a high kick, and Rhodes was able to field it on the fly and out to the 37-yard line where the Cougars will start on offense 1st and 10 with 3:56 on the clock. So only 3 seconds off the clock there. Plenty of time. Thunderbolts need to come up with a defensive stop and then get something moving.
The camera's been off the last couple of minutes.
We're having fun, though.
Oh, okay.
Well, the camera's been off. Why is it still rolling?
I don't know. Just thought I'd get you guys off guard. Just playing around.
1st and 10. And Archer back in at quarterback now. Naaman Archer back in at quarterback. Receivers wide left and right. Bronson in the slot to the right. Straight ahead. Himes on the carry, and Himes loses a couple.
And he didn't get away from Nathan Berge that time. Not that time. But again, now the Thunderbolts are going to have to do that a couple more times here and force the Cougars to kick the ball. They cannot afford, especially since they're going to run the football here, and they're not going to use their own timeouts. They've got to stop them to conserve enough time for the offense.
2nd and 12. The clock shows 3:15, 3:14 left to go here in the game. A 1-point Cougar lead. 2nd and 12, I formation. Williams split wide to the right. Bronson just inside him. There's the speed. Now Williams will go in motion to the left. The handoff and hit in the backfield. And another loss. And the Thunderbolt defense swarms in that time on Himes. And he'll lose 3 more.
And that was James Hilliard first, and then Lonnie Bowden to clean up on that play. So again, I'm kind of surprised by this. The Cougars are being so conservative. I mean, this is what got you here. This is what got you your lead. Why are you so? It's almost like they're playing not to lose rather than to win. And generally, when you do that in sports, in any sport, that's a death knell. You just can't do that.
The clock at 2:22. This is 3rd down coming up. If the Thunderbolts can get the ball back, if they can hold and get the ball back, they're likely to get it with about a minute and a half up on the clock.
Maybe even more than that. It depends on what happens on this play.
Yeah, the 2-minute warning will come into play here shortly. And throw and picked off. Picked off by Land at the 45, at the 40, at the 30, the 25, at the 20, at the 15. Huge interception for the Thunderbolts, and 1st and 10 down at the 15.
Now, this is just too weird, okay? I just lambasted the Cougars for not, doing what it took for them to bring them this lead, and then they go and they do what they were doing, and they end up making a mistake and giving the ball back to the Thunderbolts. If that's just not the catch-22 situation of the year, I don't know what is. That's a huge mistake. If you just simply cannot throw it to somebody on the other team, if you know your guy is not open, you have to overthrow him by a mile to make sure that thing is not. Now they're 15 yards away from taking the lead.
If you remember, Kenny Land with an interception at the end of the first half. Kenny Land with an interception with a minute 50 left to go in the game. 2 huge plays by Kenny Land.
And now we're going to have the 2-minute warning because we hadn't taken it yet.
Exactly. Land with a huge interception, and you have to wonder that time what Nathan or what the quarterback was thinking by stepping up and throwing that ball in the middle with nobody there.
Well, I don't understand that. I mean, if you know you're going to throw it away, fine, throw it away, but throw it away to where nobody else can catch it or where only your guy can catch it. But don't throw it to where anybody wearing a blue jersey, or if you're a Thunderbolt quarterback, a white jersey, can pick that thing off, especially in your own side of the field. That's just a horrible mistake. A horrible mistake by the Cougars.
Naaman Archer, who had played well almost this entire game, makes a huge mistake there. Now the Thunderbolts are going to line up. Will is set up there. He'll shift off. He does. He makes it strong side right. Harris is split wide to the right. Jordan wide to the left. Simpkins the tailback. There's the handoff to Calvin. Calvin steps inside to 20, to the 10, to the 5. Can he move inside? Calvin Simpkins, touchdown Thunderbolts.
Wow, what a turn of events. And they bring Sparks back in to get his confidence back up. What a great run by Simpkins to break tackles, get around the corner, and get into the end zone.
Simpkins on the touchdown run, and he got the last 3 yards just on sheer determination.
Exactly. He rolled over on the defensive player, which makes that a legal advance. And I believe that's 10 carries for 100 yards. 10 carries for 100 yards for Calvin Simpkins.
And Glenn Bell, let's see, Glenn Bell, 12 carries for 94 yards. Between the two of them, 194 yards rushing. Vandenacker in to try the point after touchdown. The Thunderbolts will go for 1. They lead by 6, 31-25. Ivanoff to hold.
Number 7 is right there. Number 7 is
Okay. The snap coming up, it's down. Vandenacker with the kick, it's up. And it is good. Vandenacker, and let's see, I believe, yes, the snap that time was by Anthony Jordan, number 7. So a new snapper.
Exactly. You gotta find some guy who can get that back there. And as long as you know that, and we saw the officials call this a couple of times before where they roughed the snapper. If you can find anybody who can get that sucker back there, that's what you want to do.
A 7-point Thunderbolt lead.
Nah, it only should be 6.
1:45 left in this one. The Thunderbolts lead by 6, 31-25. I kind of made it 7 there, but it's actually 6, 31-25. The kickoff going to be fielded down at the 15, out to the 20, out to the 25. Philip Golden out to the 27-yard line, and the Cougars will need 73 yards to win this game.
And Mike London with the tackle. And another thing that I remembered about last week in their game against the Jets, the Columbia Cougars gave the Puget Sound Jets, who scored 44 points in the game, 31 points off of turnovers. And again, it comes up and it bites them in the rear. A turnover, interception brought it down deep in their own territory, and 2 plays, and they were in the end zone, the Thunderbolts.
All right, let's set it for you. It'll be Naaman Archer will still be at quarterback, and he will throw from the shotgun. Receivers split wide left and right. They're in the slot left and right. 4 receivers out, 2 on each side. Lone setback. There's the snap to Archer. Archer wants to throw across the middle, overthrown, picked off by the Thunderbolts at the 42.
Van Velarde, the old veteran, comes back, and he gets the pickoff. Again, it's zone coverage, and I'm not exactly sure what Archer was thinking, but he threw it pretty much right into the hands of Van Velarde.
And that's almost a repeat of the last throw. It was in the middle, it was high, and Velarde came up with it.
I'm not sure what Naaman Archer was thinking, if that was even Naaman. We didn't catch who it was, but
let me tell you, one of the Cougar assistant coaches stuck his head in and said, "We're not sure what he was doing either."
That's not a good sign, but I can tell you that's not necessarily a rare occurrence here in the Northwest Football League.
That was pretty funny. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. The assistant coach was standing there listening to us, and he said, we don't know what he's doing either.
I don't know what he was thinking either, but any way you look at it now, this is where that timeout now really hurts the Cougars, because now they only have 2 timeouts to stop the clock. All the Thunderbolts have to do is basically get 1 first down, and this thing's over.
1 minute left to go in this one. 1 minute left to go. And somebody wants to take a timeout, or let's see. Now the referee wants a clock reset.
He wants it back to 60 seconds, back to a minute.
All right.
Hey, and isn't that interesting? They actually have 60 seconds up there, not 1:00 like you usually see.
Yeah, I don't, that's kind of a new one. So it's up there. He wanted the clock reset. Now, a minute left to go in this one. Thunderbolts lead 31-25.
Now they reset it to 59. But apparently this is one of these new clocks where you could put 100 seconds up there if you wanted to, and it would count down from 100. So, but anyway, but now that timeout I think we have a timeout here.
We do.
Okay, but that timeout that the Cougars had to take just before that 2-point attempt by the Thunderbolts, not their last touchdown, but the one before it, really hurts them now, and I thought that it would, because now you only have 2 timeouts to stop the clock, and you really need to force a turnover.
59 seconds up on the clock. Thunderbolts lead by 6, 31-25. First and 10 at the Cougar 42. Wade Sparks back in a quarterback. Sparks, the handoff to Bell. Bell pushed backwards, and a loss on the play of a couple. And the Cougars stopped the clock with 55 seconds left to go. They're just trying to, see how many plays they can make the Thunderbolts run. That time, by the way, Sparks just did get the ball to Bell on the handoff.
He just did, because the Cougars were coming hard, and they were almost offsides, but they timed that just perfectly. And you're right, it was a good thing that ball wasn't directly handed off to a Cougar player rather than a Thunderbolt player.
Drew, by the way, I wanted to thank you. That's my second time working with the Thunderbolts, and it's been a real privilege. And I'm counting it down to a Thunderbolt victory here.
Oh, well, hey, it's nice to work a full game with you, Dave, because last time I had to leave because of a work commitment at halftime. Now, luckily, that game wasn't close at all. In fact, they added a few points after halftime, but it's nice to see a Thunderbolt victory, because now, like I said, winning this game now puts them in the driver's seat for second place. As long as they can beat the Bucks and the Jets, they've got a shot at the league championship and the number 1 seed in the Northwest Football League playoffs.
And you can see Sparks wants the backs to move up close to him, and before he can ever get the snap away, there's an offside. Well,
actually, what happened is, and this is a trick that you see in this league a lot. In fact, when I started officiating this league, it was one of the first things I saw in the Northwest Football League championship game in 1989. The defensive player reaches over just before the guy snaps the ball and tips the ball to make it seem like that he fumbled the snap, but it's actually offsides or a snap infraction, whatever you want to call it, on the defense. So that'll cost them 5 yards. I don't think the yardage really is that much of a key. I think what it is they need to stop the clock.
55 seconds left to go in this one. Second down, and everybody up close now. Sparks steps back, and nobody's touched him yet. Now he goes down, and that ends the play. 49 seconds, clock running, and now it'll bring up third down.
And I think since they haven't called a timeout, the Cougars are out of them. Now, we could have a delay of game penalty with about 15, 20 seconds. So, well, they just did it now, and that was past 35. That's another little trick the officials do. So I think that's just about it. Since he blew the ready for play whistle after the 35-second mark, they don't even have to run a play. This game should be over. They might run one just for posterity, but they don't have to.
It looks like the TBolts are going to do that. Sparks is going to step up, and he'll just take the ball, take a couple of steps back and down at 13 seconds up on the clock. And Sparks is going to take a snap. 8 seconds. Sparks goes down and kind of trips backwards. I hope he's okay on the last play of the game. Sparks does get up. And there it is. That's the end of the game. Our final score, the Oregon Thunderbolts 31, the Columbia Cougars 25. Final comment, Drew?
Well, it was good to see that when the Thunderbolts got behind, it wasn't like the Bellingham Eagles game where they got so far behind that they couldn't come back. They did make a late charge in that game, but it fell short. This game, they got behind, they saw adversity again, but this time they managed to come back and win after seeing that adversity.
Next home game?
The next home game is going to be in 2 weeks against the Snohomish County Vikings, and then they'll end the season on the road. I believe it's the... Let me check here really quick here, but they end the season on the road. That would be the 19th at Puget Sound. That's going to be up in Auburn. But for all of our viewers in the Portland area, quote, road game will be at Jefferson High School, the home of the Multnomah County Buccaneers, on the 26th of August. But now the Thunderbolts are in the driver's seat. If they keep winning, they'll definitely have second place. They now have a chance to win that number 1 seed to the playoffs.
All right, come on out on the 12th to Harefield in Hillsboro and catch the Thunderbolts. On behalf of Drew Riley, I'm Dave Hall. Our final score from Harefield, the Oregon Thunderbolts 31, the Columbia Cougars 25.